everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Descendant and Avernus Blood War Behind the Screens, with me, Guy, your host and DM for today's game, and all the games, as a matter of fact, that you're going to be watching on this specific time slot, I should say. It is a very early morning for some of us, and yes, to have some interesting things suddenly start happening to one's setup is crazy. So the natural 20 and the natural 1 don't reset each other after they've been played, and the audio works in one way and not in another, so you're going to have to keep me on my toes, if you please. I can't hear what you're hearing, and I'm hoping that you can hear everything that I want you to hear and nothing that I don't want you to hear, and that you are able to hear it at all. So please, please, please let me know everything is going on today. It's as if we've gone back to square one. I don't know what's going on, and of course we were checking from from 3 a.m. this morning. We've been trying to figure it out. Of course, it doesn't work. So anyway, it is what it is, and I'm not going to let it get in the way of technicalities. And you know, one of the videos that we're actually talking about on my YouTube channel in the coming weeks is about what should you be doing as a dungeon master before the game starts. I can guarantee you shouldn't be fighting with technology. You should be in a happy space. Now, of course, this is a challenge that you guys won't normally face. You won't be cutting down to a clock deadline, so maybe the pressure won't be there. But anyway, you can hear me loudly and clearly. Schnuffelhazi to 21, I thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we'll see what happens when the players jump in. All my audio settings basically not working at the moment, so we had to come up with a workaround, which I think we've done. We've also got an interesting situation where Myri and Janet are both at Spiel, the largest board gaming convention in Europe. I think I can say that with absolute certainty. And so they're both coming in from a friend's house. So you're going to see them scooched up together, sharing a camera. It's absolutely amazing. All these wonderful things. So there we are. Right, so let's get on with it. We're not here to talk about my problems, woes, and terrors, technologically or otherwise. We're talking about today's game. Now, last week, our wonderful players decided that they were going to simply charge in where angels fear to tread, in this case quite literally, into the centre of Fort Knucklebone and just start attacking everything. That was after I precipitated that by initiating a combat with Ixtec. A lot of people sort of said, well, is that railroading? Is that metagaming? Is that the GM adapting the monsters to the situation? And the blatant and absolutely honest, truthful answer is yes. Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. So it was me literally saying, okay, well, let's move this thing along. Let's get some action going on. The characters, to a degree, need to be very aware that this combat is happening at the luxury of the NPCs at the moment. If you realize what I did with Maggie there, she watched the situation and then said kill them all and then went back inside. She could have certainly joined in and would have decimated the party, to be perfectly honest with you, simply because the party were all over the place, and I don't think they're necessarily prepared for such a dramatic encounter. Maybe they are, maybe not. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to let that continue to play out. She's resting. She's been out on a long foray, and things are going to get very, very interesting in terms of where the game goes now, because the demons have had some kind of life-changing event. I'm hopefully going to my desktop now. Here we are. There's the map of Avernus, as I have refreshed it twice this morning. And again, I still don't understand why it's not showing up. But the devils have 275 votes. The demons have 268 votes. So a lot more voting coming in on behalf of the demons. That underdog really coming from nowhere. And the power and influence for power 5 to demons. Devils influence 7, power 4. So the devils are still very influential, still very lacking in power, but the demons are starting to claim influence. They're starting to claim influence. Now, what does that mean for our game practically? So let's have a look at this map. Now, Avernus is where the angel Zariel and her host are currently holed up in that cathedral that was under attack by a legion of troops. It's an interesting situation because with the demons now having taken it, it means that Avernus has been evacuated from the devil's perspective. They had to flee. So they probably fled to Inteni, where they then moved from Inteni into Graven. Graven used to be controlled by the demons, but now the devils have taken it back. And they've probably made their way over to Belgar, that ancient fortress. Massive chains suspend Belgar above the second largest lake of the river Styx. The chains are so large, broad caravans can slowly move up and down them and gain entry into the city. Ruled over by a truly evil devil, the city has trees and flowers kept alive by the sacrifice of hundreds of souls per day. It's a slice of prime material plain, a remnant of the fields of paradise that Avernus once used to be. So this is quite literally probably where the devil forces are now holed up as being one of the largest fortresses available to them. Our heroes, of course, were under the quest of trying to get the head of Maggie for Damnifer, the devil, who was going to help relieve the siege of the cathedral, which now, of course, has happened already. Our players and characters don't know this, so it's an interesting twist that if they succeed or fail, it doesn't matter. Damnifer can't fulfill his contract. Will he let them know that or not? Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. So where are they going to go from here? My assumption for today is because we are over time in terms of our battle plan. We were only supposed to spend 2 sessions in Fort Knucklebone, and now we're going into our 3rd session. Again, I don't have a problem with that. I'd rather spend more sessions doing cool and fun stuff than not. So what are they going to do now? Once let's assume they have defeated the poor old flesh-golem named Mickey. Once they've defeated Mickey, what then? Well, their ultimate goal, I think, will be to try and get the head of Maggie. That's the next step. There's no doubt about that. So they will want to do that. And I think that I'm going to indulge them in that. We'll let the battle take place. We'll let it play out. We'll see how they're going to do it. They could try and think of something cunning. Or they could literally just go in there and try and beat the snot out of them. I see someone's there saying I must refresh the map. I did just 10 minutes before I started the show. Has Avernus fallen? Let me just reset this. And see what's happened. Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm going to go back there. Look at that. Avernus has been retaken. So Bleakmore is now completely surrounded by devils. Okay, so I like these narratives that just flow as a result of this. This is one of the reasons why I said, hey, let's do this. I think it would be really cool. Avernus had fallen to the demons. What happened to Zariel and the cathedral? The demons had taken over Avernus, driving the devils out. So that devil army that was besieging Zariel and company is no longer doing that. They would have refocused their efforts on the invading demon hordes. Those hordes would have driven them out because they lost Avernus into Inteni. So it's not like it's not like the history didn't happen and it's been erased. It is a history in evolution. So if we then look at that, they were driven into Inteni, and that's where they were holed up, probably making plans to go to Belgar. However, something happened in Avernus which caused the demons to lose control. Was it that Bel decided, no, we're going to retake this? And so there was this mega battle that happened on the borders between Inteni and Avernus, in which case then they kind of pushed back, if you like, and retook it. That's interesting. And I don't mind rewriting these histories because, again, the players don't know any of this information yet. The characters definitely don't know any of this information either. So it's about telling the narrative until we're comfortable with it. So Bel retook Avernus. What happened to Zariel and company? What happened to that cathedral? It's an interesting one. Well, the armies that were besieging the cathedral turned to fight the demons, were chased away by the demons. Would the demons have been interested in taking the cathedral or taking Avernus's temple and fortress itself? I believe they would have been much more interested in taking the fortress than some little church on the side of a hill. And they wouldn't have necessarily seen that the devils were bombarding it with great enthusiasm. So that I think is what has happened, is that the cathedral has been left alone. Bel and his devil host have retaken Avernus, and their responsibility, I think, would be for clearing out demons. The demons still control Pharos to the southwest, and could at any moment spill up from there. They control Carcass as well, and obviously Golgur, but Golgur is not a striking point to get into Avernus. Bleakbore is another option. They do control Bleakbore, but they are surrounded completely. So Bleakbore, I think, is much more of a demon sit and hold and defend rather than strike out. Or they could try and go Bleakbore Pharos back into Avernus. So Avernus is still a contentious point, a very difficult spot for the demons and devils to hold. It's 82 to 82. So it could swing either way depending on how the voting goes. And that's an interesting one, I think. That's an interesting one. So if we now look at it, with the fall of Avernus back to the devils, the demons are now influence 1 power 3, whereas the devils are influence 10 power 6. So they've really swung that battle in a massive way by retaking Avernus. So I think Avernus is going to be a major point of contention. The rest of the zone's really not so heavily weighted in terms of control of this space. Again, it's an interesting one. So what does that mean? Our players, they fight Maggie. They take her head, they steal a war machine. Then where are they going to go? They're going to drive to a point where they can meet up with Damnifer. Now, he can't enter into that demon-controlled space. Not safely, anyway. Remember, if he dies here in Avernus, he dies. He's gone. That's it. Game over for him. So he's not going to risk going into any territory that is controlled by somebody else. So that I made very clear, I think anyway, 2 episodes ago, where he refused to cross the line into the salt marsh. So, salt marsh, listen to me, into the salt plain. So he will wait for them to leave. Where they're going to go, I have no idea. And will they get out in this 2-hour session? Again, I'm not so sure. I can tell you this, however, I do not want the next 2 hours to be combat. I want that to change up. I want that to be slightly different. So I'm trying to think of a way that Maggie might want to do something. And what I'm thinking, and this was something that is a major plot spoiler to a degree. Remember, there was a head in the cathedral that Damnifer made out with. Let's go back to Solo. We don't need the map. That head was left behind in the cathedral. And I think, I was like, well, Damnifer wanted the head of Maggie originally because I wanted the devil to be able to give them a deal that was fairly easy and that drove them in the direction of the adventure that we were going to be proposing that they do anyway. So by giving, give me the head and I'll give you all this kind of cool stuff. It was at that moment just something that was made up on the fly to get them to go to Fort Knucklebone and to raise the tension by saying, oh, if we get the head of this person, we get more. It could be risky, but we're going to do it. What I realized was that there was this head that I had seeded in the cathedral beforehand. Now, the players never investigated the head in the jar. They sort of looked at it as sort of was rotting and that was it. I think Damnifer collects the heads of individuals that he wants influence over. And then with the head, he uses that to trap their soul to do his bidding. Now, the soul that's in the cathedral is an eavesdropping device. It's meant to look like this forgotten reliquary, but it's actually just an eavesdropping device. So I was thinking the same thing is going to go for Maggie, is that Damnifer wants the war machines. Maggie was giving it to the demons because they controlled Bleakbore. If he controls Maggie, he controls the war engines. So he's going to try and find them regardless of where they are. Zariel, on the other hand, has not had a good beginning to her campaign into Avernus. Will this remove the hubris that's been going on in terms of her approach? I did try and set that up in episode 1 and 2 was... Oh dear. Is Twitch still going? Okay, my Twitch had a moment. So yes, It was interesting. I did try and set it up that they were these arrogant angels who thought they could do no wrong. So that's kind of where they find themselves. This episode for me is definitely one where I'm going to be exploring to see what happens next. I don't know where the players' loyalties lie. I think it lies very much to themselves. But I want to see. I want to see what happens. So Maggie is going to be a different fight. She's not going to be a straight up fight. I don't want that to happen. I think that would be a little dull. So yeah, a Twitch glitch. My Twitch twitched. I don't know where they came up with the name. I really don't. But it does feel like that sometimes, doesn't it? Anyway, I have not been looking for any questions. I don't see any popping out aside from refresh the page. So yeah, I think we're good. Are there any questions about tonight's show or the bigger plan in general? We're on episode 6 now, so we're halfway through, and with only we've got 7 episodes, including this one, left. Are we near to where we should be? Well, this one is a bit more nebulous than Ghost of Saltmarsh. Ghost of Saltmarsh, there was a very clear conclusion. It was defeat the Black Tide, and everyone's good. Whereas with this one, it's not so much that. It's about get out of Avernus, if you can. But I'm not sure that seems to be the player's focus at the moment. I think they're almost in a longer game where they're like, okay, we're here. We're gonna be making sure that this is going to work. We're making sure we're going to get the head. So at the moment, that's what they're focused on. So that's why today's episode, I think, is very pivotal, that we get that out the way so we can see where the players want to go. That's the important thing for me, is what do the players want to do. Yeah. So we'll see what's happening. The campaign planner, sorry, words were failing me. The campaign planner is on hold until we know what they're doing. And once we know what they're doing, then we can update the campaign planner and go from there. So BNA UK says, are you planning on another season with the same players? BNA UK, that would be entirely in the hands of Wizards of the Coast as it is, because they commission us. Will we go for a season 3? I don't know. I think it could be quite fun. It will be interesting because that would be playing out in maybe January or February. It would be when it would start. Would we still be in Avernus? I'm not sure. But yes, start hitting up Wizards with those tweets saying, "Hey, at Wizards, we want a season 3." That's the way to make your voice heard. Okay. Let's see. Maybe give them a timer. Seleucius says maybe give them a timer if you really want them to leave. So, yes, Seleucius, this is the important thing, and you are absolutely right. Usually giving a time frame to the players is going to be a very good way of controlling how and why they get into hell or Avernus in this case and get out. I haven't given them a timer specifically. So with Black Tide, they had a timer. They worked it out. There was 60 days, and that was it. Whereas as with this, I didn't give them a timer because it was, in a way, I suppose, more of a few missions, and then they kind of get home. So there wasn't a need for a timer. We'll see what happens in today's show. Like I said, today we can quite easily give them a timer. Once they realize what's going on, I can drop that in quite easily. I don't know though. The problem with timers is that it then removes the sense of wanting to explore and wanting to go further. But maybe they've explored Avernus enough. Maybe they've experienced the horrors of just general life, and they're kind of over that. Again, we'll find out. The Great Dragon Incarnate says, do you find it easier to stick to your plan now that you have DM'd 2 games on this channel? 2 games on this channel and 488,000 million games on my own under normal circumstances. Do I find it easier to stick to the plan? No, I don't think so. The plan is there, and it's a nebulous plan, but the plan is there to act as a guide for me. And if we were not doing this live, if this was a home game, the plan would still be there, but I wouldn't have to drop things from the plan. I would be able to explore the plan at my own leisure and keep to everything that was in that plan. So when you're doing a live show like this one, Ghost of Saltmarsh as well, and then the other shows that I've done on my own channel, you do start to realize that what you have to do is think of these not so much as a campaign, but as a fairly complex adventure. So as a campaign, you want to have highs and lows and all that kind of stuff. I have to compress that down into 2-hour blocks. And I've only got 12 of those 2-hour blocks, which is not a lot of time when you think about how long a normal sort of role-playing session might be. I think that I have got better at just dropping stuff rather than trying to force it and fit it all in. I learned that lesson very quickly with Ghost of Saltmarsh. With Ghost of Saltmarsh, we had quite a complicated plan. I had lots of things that I wanted to have happen, and we just didn't get there. I know with Avernus I was reaching as well because I want to showcase all of the cool stuff that's in the book. But again, it's like, well, if Harriman's Hill needs to drop away, then it needs to drop away. And so there's a certain experiential learning in terms of being able to just drop stuff and not try and fit it in somehow. So I think that would be my answer there. Next question, because we're nearly out of time here. Yeah, Seleucus, I like your thinking there. It's like, okay, let's turn their skin black because they've been down here for too long, or they lose something from the normal world. Yes. It's definitely an option. If I wanted to drive them, and get them to move forward, but I don't think they know where to move forward to. So that's why I want to watch and see what happens in today's episode. Do they actually go back to the cathedral with the war machine as per their original briefing? In which case, then I'm back on track and can continue with my plan of them being a military operation. Or do they hightail it and go and try and find some other option? So we're going to see. So today's one is a very interesting one. So there we are. Let's see. Grandmaster Bobby D says, do you ever maim your characters to develop the plot? No, I don't think so. I certainly will use all of my characters' backstories to try and develop the plot. No doubt about that. But maim, as in actually mutilate, or I wouldn't ever do that consciously. I wouldn't say, oh, let's get the paladin's powers to go away because now he's dealing with devils, so his god is going to stop talking to him, to try and get him to move forward like that. It's not a bad idea. It isn't a bad idea, but I would, maybe if I was getting desperate and it happened in the game. So if the paladin happened to get to the point where they were maimed by something, maybe they get hit by a trebuchet, or there's something spectacular that happens that results in a maiming, I could then tie it into a god or into something that then tries to push and motivate them in a certain direction. I don't think at the moment though I need to do that just yet. Today's episode, like I said, it's a pivotal one. It is halfway through. So whatever they decide, because you can be damn sure that if they get to Damnifer with the head, he's going to be super ecstatic and will offer them anything he possibly can to get them to do his next step. So let's see. Seleucus says, I love listening to someone prepping, makes me feel better about how I think about my campaign. I'm glad that you guys find this useful. I really am. Every time I meet with the guys from Wizards, I'm like, well, do you guys like what we're doing? Do you want us to do more of it? It's always good to get feedback and that sort of thing. And I think that people put too much pressure on themselves when they plan. And I have seen this happen time and time again. And I know I've only got 1 minute left, but too much pressure is put onto the planning because of getting it right before the game starts. And not enough time is spent enjoying the game. I'm having a real blast at the moment. in terms of what the players are doing with this world. It's like, I didn't expect them to do that, or I didn't expect them to do that. And you guys can see that. I tell you what I expect. So, like I said, today's episode is like, I don't know what to expect. And that makes me super excited, because it's like, oh, okay. Well, let's see. Let's see where this goes. So, it is now time for us to drop into Avernus. I have to do some muting and unmuting to make sure it all works. Please, 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 let me know if you can hear the folks or not as we descend into Avernus. Hello and welcome to Avernus. Let me just activate all my players here so you can hear them too, hopefully. How is everybody doing tonight? Let's start with the terrible twins. Janet and Myri, how are you doing? How is Spiel?
Spiel is amazing!
Spiel is incredibly full.
Oh, it's incredible. It's exhausting. The community here is incredible. It's amazing, right? It's just amazing. And there's a lot going on. And Myri's doing like 2/3 of it by herself. It's really impressive.
We're doing a lot of stuff here. And we're also introducing them to the joy of German bread.
Yay! Which is amazing.
Yeah. Is that the one made with 4 different flowers or 5 different flowers or something like that?
At least. We make bread out of any kind of flowers. We also introduce them to bread made with walnuts.
Yeah, like there's a panoply of good food here. Yeah. Very happy.
I was surprised to find that there's bread made out of walnuts here in Japan as well. I thought that was almost uniquely German. But there you go. You live and learn, right?
Finally, food in Japan you like.
Turns out everyone's nuts. That's great.
Let's not go that far. Let's not go that far, Myri. So, just for those who don't know, what is Spiel and what's happened? What just take us through that quickly.
Spiel is a convention in Germany that is all about analog gaming. So it's board games, but it's also like classic war games, tabletop war games, and it's also like tabletop RPGs. And so almost all the big players are here and presenting their newest books and games and stuff, and it's incredibly full. And it's been going on since Thursday morning, and we all arrived on Wednesday evening and got ourselves sorted and did the first few things, and now we've been running around
ever since, pretty much,
of halls. And yes, we're going to have the strongest legs because we just keep running and standing. Yeah,
we've been making
down
until we've been making a lot of friends as well.
Oh yes, and there's a lot of people who actually watch the show and who come up and say, "Oh, I've seen you online. Say hello." So hello from people at Spiel.
Hello.
There you go. Lovely. Thank you. So yes, those of you who are watching, the two of them are sitting next to one another in a friend's house, sharing an internet connection. So I think I must just say, from all of us at the production house, as well as all of the fans, thank you guys for making the effort of setting up green screens and dragging them all the way out there to Spiel and spending a couple hours with us. So we really do appreciate it. So thank you to the two of you. Someone who is not at Spiel is Michael, who's sitting sort of between himself.
Hello. I am. I'm like in the middle. I have to play Mayomund.
Mayomund. This sexy green blue scaled lizard thing. I'm not seeing it. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm super excited, very keen for today's game. I've had an awesome week, and I'm seriously, actually, I don't know what it is. I think it's because of the circumstances to which we find our characters at the beginning of this particular session, but I've been like so looking forward to today's game. Like I've been ready to get into the seat of like one of the infernal engines for like the longest time, and I'm like, it's right there, it's unguarded. Here I am with no knowledge of how to drive. Let's do this.
Well, I like the enthusiasm. If, perhaps I like the fact that you say it's unguarded. I'm glad that you don't see Mickey as a threat. I'm glad.
Fine, Mickey's fine. I love Mickey. Mickey's great.
Mickey and his head situation.
Yes, yes. Situations arise in Sweden with Jenny playing Ixtec. How are you doing, Jenny?
I'm doing fine. I wasn't aware of any situations arising.
How's Ixtec doing?
Ixtec's fine. I mean, for a given measure of fine. I mean, they're on 0 hit points and unconscious, but they're not dying at the moment, which I feel is good. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much as good as you're gonna get at this point, guy. So just move along. Move along. Move along.
There we go. And then with his little goatee and a stuffed animal on his shirt is Kara. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Guy. Yes. I share the opinion of Michael in this game. I was very much I was just so sort of loving it last week, and now I'm very excited to play again. And yeah, the fact that Thorn is just sitting there just going, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Yes.
You've got some lightning, and you've got some lightning. It is very yeah, so
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Keep that going.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As I mentioned to those of you that were there for the pre-game, I have done an update to my computer recently, and apparently it's broken a lot of things. So if there are technicals during today's show, unlike previous shows where it was my fault, today's show, it's my fault. So just bear that in mind as we move forward, all right? That may very well happen. The D20 and the D1 just don't want to stop for some unknown reason. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. So if you guys roll the D20, it's just going to go for a while as I frantically press buttons. Of course, this would not be possible. This fiasco would not be possible without our amazing sponsors. There they are down below. World Anvil, worldanvil.com, a world creation, world aggregator thing. Absolutely awesome. I see someone said there, Postal Patriot said, just started using World Anvil. Interesting tool. It really is, and it really does help you in terms of developing your worlds and creations and things. Yes, Janet?
Can I tell you something exciting?
Yes, please.
We just turned 2!
Yay!
Well, there we go.
Years old.
You're eating solid foods.
Yes, that's right, tantrums. We are also now at 500,000 users, which means we are the size of Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, there you go. Can you imagine Atlanta, Georgia being comprised entirely of role players and storytellers? I think that could be quite fun, actually.
It's gonna be amazing. Let's found a city, guys.
That's
Yeah.
City. That's lovely. For those of you that don't know, Janet is one of the owners and co-creators of World Anvil. So that's there we go. Fantasy Grounds, I'm seeing on my screen at the moment whilst I'm talking. Fantasy Grounds providing us with the amazing platform, the virtual tabletop that we will be playing in today, with all the dice rolls and characters and monster stats and all of those kinds of things. Going to be rolled on Fantasy Grounds. So much more to Fantasy Grounds than just dice rolling, to be perfectly honest with you. You'll see all the monsters that are brought up, all preloaded and all that kind of stuff from the actual Avernus module that you can pick up on their website as well. So lots of that. And then Dungeon Fog, I see down there. Dungeon Fog I get grey hairs to every week because Dungeon Fog produces all of the maps that we use in the game. And they produce the battle maps, and I keep asking them, oh, can you just do a this, or can you just do a that? And they go, well, actually the program wasn't designed to do that. So I said, well, Now it is, and they always do. They haven't yet let me down. So Dungeon Fog, if you are a map maker, if you need battle maps, like the ones that you're going to see in today's show, they are the ones to go and check out. And of course, finally, Leatherlair, who provided me with this very spanky leather jacket. I'm happy to wear it in winter. Summer, I'm not so sure about. Anyway, we'll see. It was absolutely wonderful, and I must admit, I do like how it fits. So big thanks to them. And that's it. Dungeons & Dragons, of course, making the entire thing possible. If you want to see more seasons of this crazy bunch, let us know. You can always send them a tweet and say, oh, we really like that show, but if you could replace the GM, that would be great. Or, let's get in some I don't know. Let's watch Hedgehogs roleplay or something. That could be interesting too. Actually.
Candy, maybe. Same show, but more candy for the players.
Yeah.
And I believe it's pronounced Echidna, just saying.
Oh, Echidna's Hedgehogs and Porcupines role-playing. Little dice made out of cheese, so they kind of chase the cheese. And
oh, nice.
Yeah,
we were talking about chocolate dice earlier. I see we're
chocolate
yeah,
dice.
we were.
Yeah, there we go. Who knows? Anyway, give me all of these great tools, or stop giving me all of these great tools. I don't have enough money. Well, what are you going to spend your money on anyway? Food? I always think that's overrated, clearly by my size. Right, let's get on with this show. We've spent a lot of time talking about all kinds of weird and wonderful things. It's an absolute blast. So, let us descend into Avernus. We'll take our minds back. This was something that was requested from me. I'm just looking for my mouse so that I can go to Fantasy Grounds. This was something that was requested by several of the viewers. Is a brief recap of what happened last week. So I will do that quickly. Our intrepid heroes came across the rather curious structure known as Fort Knucklebone, deep within the Bleakbore salt plain desert out in Avernus. Their mission is to obtain the head of Mad Maggie, the owner of Fort Knucklebone and the driver of a very large infernal war machine. Their approach to infiltrating Fort Knucklebone was to stealthily sneak in to this large fort-like compound and to then possibly steal a war machine of some kind. The infiltration went flawlessly. The acrobatic performances of all of the characters truly outshone other acrobatic performances by other individuals elsewhere who did not shine as brightly, and as a result our heroes managed to get themselves right into the very centre of the fort, surrounded by enemies on all sides, and thereupon the central creature, this large construction of pulsating and slightly moist flesh, the guardian, if you will, of Fort Knucklebone, started to change and evolve in front of the characters' very eyes. A proboscis of some kind finally excreting itself. Who knows what it was doing? It was coming out, and it just slopped all over the place, sprayed Ixtec in a shower of very sticky blood, and basically rendered Ixtec dead, or deadish for now. Who knows where we're going? The rest of the companions rallied to the fallen side of their beloved Ixtec to desperately try and save Ixtec from their fate. And so we find ourselves on this battlefield, hopefully. Yes, we're on this battlefield.
Yay!
Where we can see the giant Mickey busy, well, almost finishing off Ixtec, confronted by Nazaya, with Jormund and Thorn facing off against the Redcaps, and poor old Mai butchering Kenku in the garage itself. Yes, Michael?
Just a quick reminder that Mickey, the large proboscis giant thing, is under the effect of a command spell to come charge at me.
He is.
That is indeed true. That is indeed true. I do like that. And we left off in mid-combat, as a matter of fact. And it is a death save from Ixtec.
No.
Were you reduced exactly to 0?
No, but I have the auto stabilization magic item.
Well,
yes, the periaptive wound closure.
Isn't that a pity? Because
What?
Your death save was a natural 20.
Hey!
But since you were stabilized, that doesn't take effect.
Oh well. I'll just stay down. That's all right.
Stay where you are.
Yeah, that's fine.
You just stay where you are.
Getting paid to do nothing this evening. I'm just gonna sit here and I don't know.
Please,
no,
please,
get me up! I want to play. Get me up! I have pew pew.
Starts building a new character just while we're playing.
Looking at the battlefield, Redcap number 1, who burst through the temporary structure, the temporary seal that had been put into place by our heroes. Redcap number 1 bursts out. Hey, block my door in, you bastards! You know that's not what I like. I've got a big, tight space. Oh, look, there's a battle going on, he says, as he sees Thorn standing there throwing bolts of lightning down and around everywhere. He comes rushing up to you, Thorn, and looks you squarely in the eye as he rushes past you.
That's a
When he
smart.
gets within 10 feet of me,
Yes, he does. He does.
I'm going to react, and I'm going to throw thorns right into his eyes.
Oh!
Ouch.
Okay.
Ow!
Does he get a saving throw or
Nope.
anything? Just
No, he takes 6 damage, 6 poison damage from my thorns.
and that's
To
it.
the
Just
eyes.
six poison.
Call him Thorn.
As he's running towards you, he's like, "Oh, there's a battle! Oh, my eyes! Why? Oh, you're the enemy!" He shouts as he pulls out these 2 curved daggers, and now changes his course of action to come and attack you instead.
Oh!
That's what's happening there. Down at the gate, Redcap number 2. I don't think we gave him a name. His name is going to be, let's see, I'm looking at my list of names here. Gorech Bornmol. That is Redcap number 2. Sees that there's no trouble at the gate, but there is trouble coming from over there. So he is going to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 it. What's his speed? He's going to go back to 50. So he's charging towards you, Thorn, as he sees his companions being fried and frazzled. And number 3 here, we're going to call him
Jorts.
Jort.
Jorts.
Jort. That's what we're going to call him? We're going to call him
Yeah,
that?
like, yeah.
Okay.
He's wearing shorts.
Yeah, he's wearing jorts.
He's wearing jorts. Oh, yeah. All
Yes.
right.
He's also
wearing
Russian for
jorts. Yeah,
devil.
sure.
Yeah,
Fine.
jean shorts. Jorts.
George.
Okay, Jort runs forward as well. Next to Georg. Redcap number 4. I really should name these ones. Redcap number 4, who's twisting and writhing from the electricity, has risen himself up to one knee. Blood sort of spurting from his mouth, his great big red moustache walrusing out in all directions. And he screams and just charges directly at you, Yormund, swinging this rather curved blade at you, and connects. Are you going to? You got anything? You got reactions or magic powers or fairy dust or something?
Nope. I'm just going to take it like a champ.
Just take it like a champ. There's 11 damage for you to take home. Oh! You think that was bad? He says as he swings again for your kneecap. Well, it was, he says as he misses. Redcap number 5, also slightly staggered. He sort of steps forward. Going to get us some lizard tonight. He swings at you, Jormund, and hits
Oh, what's this?
Ew.
for another 11 points
Ow.
of damage. I like me some handbag, he says as he swings at you a second time and misses.
Mean.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Redcap number 6 looks over his shoulder. He's like,
mean.
"Oh, yeah, lads, I got this right." There's a general conferring. Aye. He then stays at the gate. He's not doing anything. Who's this? This is not doing anything. So it's the poor Kenku who's standing next to May, and the Kenku is holding a spanner in hand, looking very, very unhappy with you. And the Kenku looks at the spanner, looks at you. Sorry?
That I am.
You're up,
I
yes.
would like to point out. Yeah, I'm on the wall sideways because
Yes.
I have the slippers of spider walking. So I'm probably out of his range. I know he can fly. So I'm 15 feet up and
Well,
sideways on.
15 feet up, yes. So he's looking at the wrench. He looks up at you, and he says, "You gotta ask yourself, do you feel lucky?" He doesn't really know how else to finish that sentence, so he just throws the wrench directly at you as hard as he possibly can.
Sure.
I love Kenku.
Wow, it connects. Apparently,
Oh.
you did not
Ooh.
attend dodgeball training. So
I did not. I do only take half
the
damage.
damage.
though.
Okay,
You do
lovely.
not feel lucky.
You take 3 damage then. So I will drop you down. I will add the 3 for you. There you go.
I love Clonk.
As
Can he be our next pet?
Oh dear, oh dear. So yes, you get hit by a wrench, which bounces back down onto the floor, and he goes rushing over to try and catch that again. You are up, Mademoiselle Larouge.
D'accord. You stupid bird. You know, I could be napping right now. I take 2 steps forward, so I'm within 5 feet,
Yes.
still sideways. And I attack the bird. Do I have height advantage?
Yes, I'll give you advantage.
In that case, I'm going to attack the bird with sneak attack damage, because that's what you do when you're a rogue.
That's what you do.
What you do stabbing.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to roll with advantage.
Well, that's all right. You hit
Oh,
him
you hit anyway.
But roll it again anyway. It might be a... It's not. So you hit him. You using your rapier?
Yes, I am using my. I have it in fantasy grounds as my sneakier, because it's my rapier with sneak attack damage added.
Your sneaky rapier. I like it. You have a kebab
Ow.
of crow as you skewer Clonk through the face into his soft inner bits and pieces, as you have been trained to do. And
Cannot
he-
even die elegantly.
No, he sort of slides off and flops around a little bit, but like bad mechanics. Thorn!
Sure. Could I have the map?
No, no, you may not. Yes, of course you can.
Shan't.
Some people have got the map, some people don't have the map. So I will share it with you now. It'll take a few moments because I violate
you.
Fantasy Grounds rules by making big maps. But yes, you've got it now.
Okay. All right.
There is a flurry of redcaps around the two of you.
So, seeing that all of the redcaps are surrounding us,
Yes.
Thorn. Oh, this is a bad situation. Okay.
Ah, you think it's bad now? Wait until I turn you to toothpick, you walking plant!
Oh, walking plan, hey? Oh, well, how about some of this then? I'm gonna stomp my feet, like, really hard onto the ground and cast Wall of Thorns.
Ooh.
Okay, what does that do?
Well,
All the Kyoras coming from the ground.
Yeah, I'm just imagining that too, like a big line of them going, all right, all right, all right. Just
How's it going?
Dead.
It's like
Dead.
multiple copies of me just burst out of the ground.
No.
Yeah.
What's the radius? And where are you centering it?
So I'm centering it on myself,
Okay,
and it's a 20-foot diameter
20-foot diameter. All right.
around me. So I'm guessing Jormund is going to be included in this,
Yes. Okay.
but the red caps. So I'm trying to visualize where it's going to come out.
Right. Well, you
But
got
I
to
can-
decide. So it's a 20-foot diameter, it says.
Yes, and I can center it in between me and Jormund. So a 20-foot diameter would mean
It's out to here.
That would be 20-foot radius.
That's 20-foot radius, yes. So it's half of that. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Yes, it's here.
That's so hard.
Oh, Fantasy Grounds is just having a moment, or my computer's having a moment actually. Yes. Okay.
Very sad.
So that will get 3 of them plus the 2 of you inside this little zone.
So what I basically want to do is I want to cast it so that it's me and Jorman and Redcap 1 are inside it, but then it hits, so it bursts out of the ground and grabs Redcap 5 and the other one.
So it's sort of like that.
Actually, right.
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Something like that. That's what you're going for. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. The ones that are going to get hit by it, Redcap 5 and 4, do they get saving throws?
Yes, they take a dex saving throw.
Okay, suddenly this burst of roots and mini yous appear.
Yep.
Dexterity
10
saving
foot
throw for that one is a fail on a 7.
Nice.
So 4 has failed, and 5 dexterity saving throw fails as well. So they both fail.
Okay, cool. They take 7d8
Nice.
piercing damage.
Tiny you is deadly.
Yeah. Ow.
They take 29 damage each.
Yes.
Eesh.
Are they dead?
They are. The roots shoot up, and in a bizarre moment of terror, they are infiltrated by foliage that just bursts out of their ears, their nose, their mouth. Don't ask where the origin was, and they end up these bizarre scarecrow-like thorn-stuffed red caps hanging from your wall.
Sure. And I'm gonna shout behind me, "Hey, big guy, big cactus guy, I got you some mushrooms."
I'm going to remove them from the map. They are very dead, very, very dead. There's not much chance of them coming back. So,
Sure.
yes. All right, that's what you do. This tremendous wall of interlocking brambles and things comes up. What, are you doing anything else?
No, just to say that the clouds above me or the lightning, the cloud stuffs disappear when I cast Wall of Thorns.
Nice. Mickey! He was commanded to charge towards you, Jormund. Does the thorns, does it obscure line of sight?
Ooh, that's a good question. No, it does not.
All right. Boom. Boom. Mari, you get an attack of opportunity.
Oh,
Boom. Boom. Let's see.
I don't.
maybe too happy. For...
Give him death, cuz.
Yeah. Okay.
Give him la mort.
Oh yeah. Someone asked me actually today, why didn't you use Stunning Strike on the monster?
Uh-huh.
And I said, I don't know whether I need the key points later, but, I'm going to use a key point and try to hit him and Stunning Strike him.
Ooh.
Okay.
That'll stop his movement, though, won't it?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Ooh.
Booyakacha!
Ooh.
Particularly.
Whoop.
So
Very nice.
I told you things had stopped working, yeah?
Oh, there it is.
I have to manually do it.
All right.
So now.
Damage him.
You definitely hit him.
Okay. All right. I was
Damage.
trying to figure out how Stunning Strike works, but I should maybe do some damage before that. Okay.
I mean, he's commanded at this point, so I don't know. Is that just one command that he has to obey, or is it like time?
Again, right?
Just the one command.
Ah,
Oh,
Alright.
no, I think it already added the critical.
It did indeed. It did indeed. So
Nice.
11 points of damage to him as you stab into his soft, fleshy body.
And I hit him with my melee weapon attack. I spend now 1 key point to attempt a Stunning Strike. So Mickey now has to do his Constitution saving throw, and I think he has to get 13, but I'm going to look it up. Yes.
Okay. I'm just double checking.
Sit. Stay.
And here is his Constitution saving throw. Boom, 23.
Ooh!
Yeah, well, to be fair, he's made of meat.
He is.
Yes.
He is.
Good try.
It's a pity you didn't stop him because he is thundering forward. Jormund, your command was to come to you. How wide or thick is that wall of thorns?
5 foot thick.
5 foot thick. Okay. He is going to follow that order specifically to come to you.
Yes.
Well, there's another natural 20.
Face plants straight into the thorn wall.
No, he does not. He does not with an intelligence check like that. He
Yeah, that's impressive.
lumbers forward under this order, and then suddenly you watch as his back again is squeezing, and there's like this giant cyst forming, and then suddenly the skin tears open and this white mucus just spills out on the ground around him, and he leaps into the air and flies and lands right next to you, Jormund.
He's an angel.
Well, there's one very weirdly shaped wing now that's grown out of his back, which he flapped once. Flight is not the appropriate word.
Is he
Flopped.
inside the... Did he land on the
is.
thorn?
Yes, he lands inside.
Did he land on the thorns?
I'll say it was a 20-foot radius, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no, he lands just inside the thorns.
Oh.
Sorry. He takes up 10 feet. It's just on the edge. So yeah, he's just on the inside. You could push him 5 foot and then he would land in the thorns.
Oh, okay, yep.
But
Thank you.
that's his action for the round. It took him a double move to get there. Nazaya, you have no one left to attack. Except Ixtec, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
She's moving
Sure.
up to Ixtec and checking them over.
They are unconscious.
But the horrifying, because it smacked me with its massive club or whatever it was.
Yes.
And the sort of the skin is sort of scabbed over, and the wound is closed, but they're out.
Then Nazaya checks that you are still breathing. Everything is basically stable. Hopefully, wipes away a bit of the bloody ichor thing,
It's really sticky.
and then tries to lay you down in a safe position. Just a bit closer to the envelope. Make sure that you're not going to get trampled.
Like the recovery position.
Yes,
Just
the recovery position. Probably knows it.
All right.
I
My
love it.
action. I'm sorry. I'm not fighting this round. I'm actually not doing much.
That's
on
absolutely
this.
fine. Give me a strength check, please, as you try to roll Ixtec onto...
I'm not
What are you saying?
heavy.
Expect that.
It's not the case that you're heavy or not. It's the fact that you've been glued.
Okay, I'm going
That's
to
true.
do this thing.
I am glued to the ground.
There you are. It takes a lot of effort to roll Ixtec over because this glue is particularly viscous.
Okay.
Jormund? Mickey
Jormund.
has arrived.
Yorman takes a moment and realizes, I think he looked smaller from further away. Very well. Yorman lets loose the chains from his braces and begins to spiral them up as he gets ready to unleash a full attack with his spiked chains.
Make your attack.
Okay, so first is my primary attack.
What
20.
is going on? What is going on?
He is spiked. He is chained.
He is Tormund!
Max damage.
Oh, you now have a catchphrase. Congratulations.
Max damage.
Maximum damage. Yeah, your chains rip into the
Incredible.
flesh.
And then I have my secondary attack from my extra attack ability.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to hit with that.
Smash him.
Oh, this is
another
16. That's still a
hit.
hit. I'll
That's
take
good.
it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. That is 7 points of damage.
Copy that.
Very respectable.
Yeah.
And then as a bonus action, I flick my offhand to try and sort of whip around behind him and strike him in the back.
Which hits.
Whoa.
That is 4 points of damage.
This flurry just rips and shreds and slices, and you watch these little paper cuts appearing everywhere as you slam into him. Normally, this would have killed most opponents that you have come across. But you watch as the slices, they gush blood, and then suddenly the blood takes on this very milky white kind of texture, and it oozes for a moment, and then the whole thing seems to glue itself shut.
Oh man.
Oh.
It bleeds super blue.
You
He's
doing
made
anything
of-
else?
Thorn? That.
Yep.
Not normal, right?
Nope. That's really disturbing.
Could be problematic. Perhaps we should do something.
Push him into the thorns.
You push him into the thorns. Do you see how big he is?
Okay.
All right, that's what's happening there. She's not doing anything. I don't know why this thing is still making saves for you. Because... Wait, where the hell are we? Okay, so that's Ixtec. You are on...
It just wants me to
It
feel
just wants-
better.
It does.
It wants me to feel included.
It does. It really does. It really does.
It's
As a
very nice.
matter of fact, roll a percentile die for me, please.
Okay.
Fancy.
How do I do? They're just 2d10s, right?
You can right-click on them, and then you'll see a menu popping up, and you can select percentile.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
91. Yep, you are just in a state of oblivion at the moment.
All right, then.
Redcap 1 looks at you, Thorn, looks at Mickey, looks at Jormund. Oh, you're in so much pain right now, he shouts as he slices at the back of you, Thorn. And hits.
I mean, was that really necessary?
I'm going to make a bonfire out of you, Sir Lodge. They'll see you as far as Avernus itself.
I'm gonna feed you to a cactus.
Oh, no, you bloody won't, he says. He swings completely wide as he is clearly the cactus terrifies him. Redcap number 4.
I love how he's just making violent threats,
He was
and
in the fight
Thorn
where
is
we
just.
were, but he disappeared.
Oh, because he died a horrible, horrible death.
No, there were 2 that died. 4 and 5 died, but there was a third one over here as well that I can't, for the life of
No,
me,
I
see
think
where
he
he went.
died.
He must be dead. He's got 0
Yep.
hit points, so
They
he's dead.
dead.
Take him out.
He did.
He
He
did.
did.
Take him out. Okay, Redcap number 6 at the gates. He sees this wall of thorns. He sees Mickey leap inside of it. He pulls out a small pouch and starts eating something from it whilst watching the battle happening behind the thorn curtain.
Very nice.
Yep, that's what he does. Clonk is dead, so I don't know why he's still on the
Oh,
list.
Clonk. I miss Clonk.
Yeah, Mademoiselle Larouche. Madame.
No, that's. We, well, you said cousin, I have cousin, and now I don't know what to do. So, Mademoiselle LaRouche yawns, puts her arm on the edge of the stable wall, leans against it, and looks at the battlefield and goes, that looks like so much work.
Give me a perception check, if you will.
I shall do that thing.
Sorry.
No, bless you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Perception, not persuasion. Yes, well done. Oh, is it an eyes perception? With
Yes,
my
ma'am.
eyes? Then I'm gonna do it with advantage. For reasons.
Dirty 20.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Whilst leaning on this wall, casually looking at stuff, you see a strange light coming from the structure inside, the structure to your south. The light's coming from inside it. It seems to be this dark purple glowing apparition, if you will, sneaking through cracks in the masonry and that kind of thing. It wasn't there before. You're fairly certain of that.
That's not good.
C'est intéressant. Do I know what it is?
Definitely looks arcane of some kind.
It looks very suspicious to me. Dagger. Okay, I'm going to go over to Nazaya and check that she's okay. And if anything attacks me, I'm going to stab it in the face.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm done.
Yeah. So you're going to move over to Nazaya, who's standing next to a sticky Ixtec.
En fait, from here, I will throw a dagger at the big squishy thing. Because I can. It's there. Why not?
All right. It does have some cover from those thorns, but yes, you may make your attack.
I shall do that. Oh, I have an advantage because it has other friends.
It does.
Like, no. Oui.
We're about
Something very dramatic going on
I was
there.
about to throw a rapier. That would not have been aerodynamic.
All right. You said it does hit indeed. Do your damage.
Dagger.
Is it a magical dagger?
It is not a magical dagger, but I do an additional 3d6
All right.
damage.
Do you
Because
roll
I am so
3d6?
sneaky.
Yes.
So I do that. Et
Aye.
puis,
Mm-hmm.
I do that.
Ooh,
You just drop them on the battle.
I just drop them on the floor.
that's a lot of resisting.
I pick them up and I drop them on the floor.
Ah.
No. That
Magnifique.
is better.
All right. 11 damage to him. That will carry through. So that puts
Go
him on
somewhere
that
squishy.
much. Yeah, you guys watch Thorn and Yormond. You see this dagger sail and sort of slam into the back of Mickey's head. It's there for a moment until the wound, again, that white stuff sort of slimes out of it and then just absorbs the entire dagger into it.
Oh,
No, I like the dagger.
Thorn?
I won't like it anymore.
that's not good.
Absolutely disgusting.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to try and push it myself then. All right. And Thorn turns into a giant goat.
Yay!
It's fine. Took both of them.
Yes. Anyway, so Thorn is now a giant goat and attempts to basically, instead of attacking, I'm going to be headbutting, pushing the creature into the wall of thorns.
Okay, give me an attack against the creature to see if you can hit him.
Okay. With the goat attack?
Yes.
Don't be sheepish about it.
Okay.
Baramu.
Ram you.
Are we heading back into Punland now? I can feel it.
Oh, we're just kidding.
Yeah,
Oh,
you kind
no.
of headbutt at Mickey. I kind of feel this is where the battle turns. I'm not sure. You try and headbutt into Mickey, and you do against his thigh, but it just blubs and bubbles and doesn't really do very much. Give me a strength check, however,
Mm-hmm.
or athletics, I should say.
Oh.
Oh, well.
Sorry. Yeah, and it's like, although it's very fleshy, you get a sense that he is really strong, and that it's gonna take a bit to knock him back. I'm afraid it's gonna
Right,
take a bit
okay.
to knock him back. All right, so that was your attack, and your transformation was free, right?
Yeah, I turn to Jormund and go, "Meh."
Yorman turns to Thorn with a withering gaze.
Mickey turns to no one with a gaze of any kind of judgment whatsoever, because he's that kind of monster. And now that the command spell no longer affects him, he looks at you, Yormund. He looks at the goat who butted against him, and he backhands the goat.
Oh,
I'm
no.
a giant goat.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah.
He backhands the goat.
He's a bigger goat.
Well,
It's got horns. Close enough.
almost max damage as he slams the goat, and he's
Ooh.
like, Fluffy!
Oh, no.
That kills the giant goat.
And leaving the tree.
Yep. So that's the goat has 19 hit points. So
Alright.
I take
4.
4.
Okay. Have you done that to your own character sheet?
No.
All right, I'll do it. I will do it. That puts on that much damage.
Thank you.
Mickey then looks at where there was a goat, and there is now this bizarre on fire stick thing, and he goes, Fluffy! And tries to hit you again.
Oh no!
Because he wanted the Fluffy.
Oh,
He's so sad.
That's
He's
a
so
hit.
sad.
And so now
Mickey,
you take
no.
another 17 points damage, being beaten into oblivion, beyond, and back again.
Oh
It's
no!
not enough to kill you, right?
no, it shouldn't be.
Okay, so you're just in the dying status.
Wait, you should
There.
have more than 16
Wait,
hit points.
I have more than 20 hit points.
You
How
did
do
not
you
have
keep
more
up
than
to-
20 hit points going into this battle.
Since that going away with
I think you
it.
got hit a couple of times, maybe.
Yeah, you were on 33.
Oh, no, never mind.
Then you took 4, which puts you on 37, and now you've just taken 16.
Right.
Yeah. 37
how am
plus
I
16.
dying?
You only have 45 hit points.
Oh, okay.
37 plus 16.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with because you're doing a minus from the. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
You happy?
Carry on. Mm-hmm.
Carry on. Carry on.
Carry
you may
on.
proceed.
FP.
Nazia? Nazia?
Long.
Zaya was actually about to go. I think they got this.
And then the wall of thorns collapses when you're knocked unconscious. Is that correct, Thorn?
Yep.
Then
You
she looks
watch-
at me.
The thorns wither and wilt, and you see this giant fleshy backside of Mickey as he
Ew.
stands over the very now flat corpse of Thorn, with Jorman next to him busy swinging his chains, looking like he's got the situation under control.
Soon corpse. Pre-corpse.
Yes, sorry.
Kindle.
Thing or hag.
Your props. No, that sounds worse.
Kindle.
I think that we need the stick.
That's
man.
dark.
Very complicated.
I think the hag is controlling
Love
the
it.
thing.
I think so, but
Guy, how's the shadow situation?
There are shadows in the workshops of the large heavy machines to the north of you. In the actual battlefield itself, very few, I'm afraid, except for those being cast by the actual individuals themselves.
Okay.
Probably casts a big shadow.
He does, definitely. And he is next to the
I'm-
side of a structure, so there is a bit of a shadow there as well, a little one.
Yeah. I'm trying. If there might be a shadow somewhere around Mad Maggie, or in the building, or up on the building where she's
Oh,
standing.
yes, no, absolutely, absolutely. Let's go back to that map. So you're looking at down here. Yeah, she
Is
she
going
went
up.
inside.
One shadow here, then she shadow poofs
Ditto poof.
into the building.
Into the building.
Yeah, if Maggie went into the building,
She
then
did.
yeah, then Nazaya is going to poof behind her. So spend part of my movement, then I poofed, then I appear here. Poof, poof.
Very good. Okay. Inside, I will reveal to you now. You can see Maggie. She is standing and talking to what looks to be this very large statue at the far end of this definitely old abandoned church. You can give me a religion check, if you please.
I will, but I don't think poor Nazaya knows anything about it.
she's young.
Yes. And she's been raised by a clan of murderous monks, so...
Well, monks are religious adjacent.
Yes, but only their religion.
Yes.
It's close enough.
I need... Come here. No.
Nope.
No.
No.
It's a statue. The statue is, as you look at it, it looks like an artist that Nazaya wouldn't ever know of, but it looks like a Picasso. All the bits are there, but just sort of randomly arranged. As if the sculptor had finished carving this beautiful statue, dropped it, and just decided to glue it back together again, but didn't care what went where. There we are. So yes, that is the statue, and Maggie is kneeling in front of it, And as you appear, you're fairly silent in all of this poofing around. And you hear her say, provided that it will do what I wanted to do, I suppose I will agree. But this is the last time, she says. And the statue, for a moment, it looks like the statue bows to her and then reforms itself into the statue of this beautiful young woman. No longer Picassoed in any shape or form. That is what you see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Then Nazaya goes, hag!
Mean.
She looks around, her weird deformed body, her bunny slippers, her dressing gown made out of pink fur.
A devil wants your head.
Give me an insight check.
Sure.
Oh!
So inside.
Nice.
You know all the things.
All the insight.
Sense
Oh.
them with your sensing glands.
All the insight. Okay. You sense for a moment there is a flicker in her eye of defiance. But then a sad melancholy washes over her face. And it's your turn, Jormund.
Oh.
Yormund begins to swing his blades behind him. As he looks at the creature, his blades begin to coalesce this sort of red and black smoke that channels with this blue crackling lightning. He turns to Mickey and says, "You dull creature. Did I say you can lay hands on those who call themselves my allies? I am the sovereign here, and you will know the name of your Menefex Gelondir." I will do a full attack using Divine Smite on all 3 attacks.
So be
Which
it,
will
Paladin.
Which I will... Oh, sorry, 2 attacks, because I will sacrifice my 2nd level spells to do so.
Burn through all the spells.
Going through all my
Something-
spells.
Oh,
This thing
boy.
is too big.
Something's telling me
Alright.
Mickey is not a 7-syllable kind of
Alright.
guy.
Yeah.
First attack. All right.
Hey!
That is
Passion.
the first one,
You slash
which
into him.
is 9 points of damage.
points of damage to Mickey. Yes, once again that
Plus-
ooze covers the wound.
Yep. Plus, because he's a fiend, he also takes 4d8 points of damage from the radiant.
Nice.
Ooh.
Burn, baby, burn.
30 points.
Is he a fiend?
He is.
Is he? Oh, sorry. If he's a fiend. If not, drop off the.
Yeah, I thought
the
it was a
last one.
construct.
He's not a fiend. Sorry, you're quite right.
Oh,
Quite.
my apologies.
Sorry, Michael. Sorry.
Right.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I mean, heaven forbid, I think this thing's a fiend. All right. Yes. In which case, so -7, so 23.
Yeah. -7.
You've been rules lawyered.
Because
Ooh.
that's the last. That's the last. Thing
All right.
I rolled.
Alright.
Yeah, because you roll really high.
Yeah.
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 And then I'm going to attempt.
Finally,
to...
that first wound is no longer sealing itself.
Ah, brilliant!
Ooh.
Second attack.
Hits.
Nice.
For 6 plus 15 damage.
15. Oh, wrong button. What did I do
Oh no!
there?
No! No! No!
20.
No! Oh, no.
15 damage. Yes, he staggers back a bit. Urgh.
All right.
Oh no.
And my last attack with my spike chains. This one without radiant damage, sadly, but I'll still hit him.
Hits.
Woo!
I'll still hit him.
You can do it. You can smash
4
him.
points of damage.
4 points damage again. These little wounds, these little cuts, no longer sealing shut. He doesn't look like he's been slowed down at all. However, as you waylaid into him, he now turns and looks down at you. Back inside the churchyard, inside the church, Maggie looks at you, Nazaya. Well then, you shall have it. And she pulls out this dagger, and she
I
cuts
don't want it.
her own head off.
What?
And the corpse
Whoa.
drops to the floor, dead.
What? Oh my god.
Ask and you shall receive, apparently.
Oh, we should have just come in and asked. Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah, wow. You're the new face, Messiah. You do all the talking from now on.
Ixtec, give me a percentile check, please. That was Maggie's turn.
All right. I can do this. I can roll. No. No. I'm not gonna roll below 90.
No, you're not.
Just because.
You're so lucky.
Just so lucky.
Because...
No, that was punishment for sabotaging the group.
The dice know. The dice know.
They know. They know.
We get to the Redcap number 1, who leaps off of Thorn's body and assails you directly, Jormund. His first swing slices at you, misses, and the reason for it is because he screams in terror and leaps as fast as he can and completely fails because he's slipping on all of the sap that's oozing out of Thorn's broken body, and lands in a pile next to you. You need to give me a dexterity saving throw, please, Jormund.
I don't want to.
You can do
Okay, if
it.
you don't want to, that's absolutely
do
fine
it.
too.
No, I won't. Oh,
But
yeah,
there's
no,
a
I
reason.
will. 13.
13, you managed to roll to the side. Mickey has dropped to one knee and is slowly rolling over and is about to collapse upon you and the Redcap and Thorn. I'll come back to you on that one. You are free to act in your turn.
Okay.
You're not going to be dropped on. Gate duty. The gate guard is quietly walking down the road going... Wasn't my fault. I didn't sign up for it. I don't know what's going on there. Anyone need a mechanic? He says as he's walking out towards the demon hordes to the south.
Oh, I love that guy.
Mademoiselle Rouge.
Mademoiselle La Rouge. I have idiots ear. I have idiots ear. All I want is a nap.
We can switch places.
Curl up next to Ixtec. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Just pretend. Oh no, we're both almost dead.
Oh no! Oh no! I accidentally lost all my hit points.
Oh no! Oh
I'm
no!
so sleepy. No, she doesn't do that. She starts walking towards the place where the light was coming from, where she saw Nazaya go. Do I see you when you shadow step?
I poofed into the entrance, so you.
Okay,
could
so
have.
I may have seen your poofage. Or impoufage. I got
Stop
to
now, Janet.
I saw Nazaya's lampoufage, and that is what I do because it's really far away.
It is really far away. You are correct.
So I am going to go all the way over here, which
Are we?
is going to be 2 move actions, and I'm going to stand here and say, "Oh, you found me the head." Well done.
Yes, Nazaya is standing there with her headless Maggie at the far end of the structure. Thorn, here's your first save. You don't have any fancy stabilizers or anything like that, do you?
Yay!
No.
No? Okay, well, you passed that one.
You did it.
So that's good. Give me a percentile roll, if you please.
Ooh.
Okay.
Roll below 90. That's below 90.
We'll take that as 72.
Take it.
All right. Darkness and Oblivion. Nazaya.
And Zaya says, "I didn't do this. She cut off her own head. I'm going to pick it up."
All right.
D'accord. Maybe I come with you and
Please, would you give me a medicine check, Nazaya?
While Nazaya is moving forward, she is doing her medicine check.
All right.
Pouring test tube.
It's going to happen one day.
Oh no!
Yep.
I'm only dealing in extremes. I'm a dice Sith.
Yes.
Yes.
There is no balance in your force.
No. No tens. Only
20,
ones and 20s.
25, 30, 34, 5. 30,
I'm happy for
45.
you to get there this round.
Yeah, that's just an action. And yeah, then she's going to take another action, just walking, just
All right.
rushing forward.
The body
towards-
lies there in all of its death state, the head cleanly severed with the dagger. The dagger does appear to be rather unusual in as far as this place looked like a junkyard. But this dagger looks as if it was made by some demented Russian who just loved making eggs look great. It is studded with little diamonds and gold filigree.
Oh,
and
Fabergé. Okay.
It's just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular.
I thought you meant just eggs.
Yeah,
It was
I'm with Jenny. I was imagining like a spatula blade for a second.
No,
like
sorry,
a
sorry,
Russian Gordon
sorry,
Ramsay?
sorry.
What are we doing here?
No, yeah, it's what happens when I attend Arctic visits. All right, so yes,
No, I got
it's-
you. Like Fabergé-ish.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes.
you have
Yes.
scrambled eggs of Catherine the Great.
So,
Yes.
so if Nazaya can do one more tiny thing, she
Yes.
kicks the dagger a few meters towards me. Says, "I think you're going to like this."
All right. As you kick it towards May, it moves quite well across the floor. It's not very heavy by the looks of things. And there's a very high-pitched sort of wah sound as it slides across the floor. And you are convinced you are seeing bits of these flagstones slightly dislocating as the blade slides over the stone.
Oh.
I think you are going to like this a lot.
Yeah.
Back outside, Jormund, you made your saving throw. However, this large body is about to fall on top of Thorn and the Redcap who's slipped in Thorn's sap.
Yormund steps forward very quickly. He kind of drops the handles of his spiked chains, which now lazily lie on the floor attached to his vambraces. And using his shoulders and arms, he's going to brace against the large hulking form of Mickey as he falls.
Give me a strength saving throw, if you please.
All right, come on, you. If you're good at anything, that's not it.
Oh, no.
Do we still have any inspiration left?
No, I believe you've used that a while ago. Very good. You take 4 points of damage as this large Hulk slams into you. It you sort of push it to the side. You save Thorn from being slammed into as you bear the weight of this massive behemoth.
I would also so I'm just kind of holding it upright but still taking the damage, right?
Yes, it's just from the sheer amount of weight on it. And there's something slightly warm making its way in between your gorget and your scales. You can feel it dribbling and leaking in there.
Delicious. Yeoman then looks at the Redcap. You there! Unless you want this to fall on you, I suggest a mild truce. Take my friend away and I don't drop this thing on you.
He looks at you for a brief moment. Agreed! I'll do it! That's what he's saying. Whilst you wait for him, he'll act on his turn. Ixtec, the ever rolling, because Fantasy Grounds says so.
I'm rolling in my grave.
Give me a
guy.
percentile check, if you please.
I am rolling in my grave. Really? No one? That was 15. That's lower than 90.
It is definitely lower than 90. You are in the state of oblivion that you suddenly realize you're in a state of oblivion. Before it was just non-existence as one is sleeping. There is collection of darkness which seems to pool around you in the darkness, so it's very difficult to tell, but it's almost like there's something in the water with you when you can't see below the water's surface. You get that sense, that presence. And very, very quietly it says, I know what you are. And I can release you from your bonds. The devils have never really helped your family. There is a greater power.
I'm listening.
Avernus is for the weak. It is of no consequence to us. There are far more interesting places that we would conquer. Act as our vassal, and together we might achieve greater things than your devil playmates might ever offer you.
And who are you, exactly?
We are everything and nothing, and we will control all in time.
Right. I mean, there are millions of spirits in this place, any one of which
We are not
could make
a spirit.
So you say, is my point. Any one of them could make a creepy voice. And lie, is my point.
You are on the precipice of death. Death in Avernus for your kind is finite. Once you die, you will be obliterated. We come from a space where that no longer exists as a possibility of an outcome.
And what space is that exactly?
The abyss.
Oh. The abyss.
From whence all things came, from whence all things will return in time.
I switch at this point to speaking abyssal instead of common.
Yes, it doesn't.
You know, translated. As far as I've learned, these are only two sides of the same, well, war.
The war for Avernus is but the beginning. It will not be long before we prevail. Then all of your devil dealings will be for naught. They perish here as mortals will perish on the prime material plane. The abyss is unending.
So what exactly are you offering?
Become our vassal. Accept us as your true power. Do our bidding. And in return, we will make you one with the abyss.
That doesn't sound so tempting right now. I mean, you could spruce it up a little bit, right? Like, you could actually be a little less vague. Right? I mean, you're offering me something here. You want me to
for
do
immortality and perpetuity without any of the requirements of the others.
Really? No requirements.
Merely become our vassal.
Right. And after I die, I join the war, but on the other side.
You will be part of the abyss.
And this would involve losing my individuality, possibly?
You will become the abyss.
Yes. Right. How about you wake me back up as a little favor and I'll think about it. And we can talk the next time I'm unconscious. It's bound to happen, really.
Your eyes open.
Ooh.
Alright, so let me get this straight. I move him, and then you don't cause the creature to fall down upon me and kill me dead.
Something like that.
Great.
But please, take your time, of course.
Oh, aye. I do intend to do that, exactly. Only one wee little thingy, laddie. You slew my clansman, and you now will die, he says as he slices at you. Missing the first time round. Connecting the second time round.
I want to kill him. I want to kill him.
You take 10 points of damage, Jormund. I will come to you on your turn. Mechanic for sale. Anyone need a mechanic? Just a mechanic. Wandering off. Don't know what's going on down there. No affiliations whatsoever. Shite, he says as he takes his cap off. I'm going to need another colour. He's not doing anything. That's not doing anything. Mademoiselle Larouche, back to you, madame.
Well, you have the head, and
There's the faint humming, high-pitched whining sound coming from the dagger halfway across the ruined church from you.
you know how lucky is that? I just lost one of these, and this one is so pretty. Look how beautiful it is. I walk towards it,
Sure.
and I'm not sure exactly where it is down the aisle.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you can get to it. Not a problem.
Sure. Okay. So I walk towards it, and I look down at it.
It sparkles.
It is
Give me an Arcana check.
Arcana. Where are you? You're at the beginning, because you begin with A. That's the Arcana song.
There looks like there's magic imbued in every aspect of this blade. The length of the dagger, the actual cutting section of it, is about 12 inches long, which makes it a little bit of a lengthy blade, but it looks almost paper thin.
So it's very sort of dirk-like.
Yes, but paper thin. As a matter of fact, when you sort of look at the blade, you're not sure it has much depth to it at all. Usually there's a sort of a few millimeters of blade width, but this doesn't look like it has that.
I think that I want this, she says, and she leans down and puts her arm around the handle and very decidedly picks it up.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no! It was a trap!
It was a trap.
It was a trap!
But of course,
But of course.
dexterity.
But of course.
Come on.
The reason why you realise that this is an incredibly dangerous weapon is as you pick it up, it has no weight to it at all.
I like it even more
And
now.
yet, as the handle sits in your hand, it might have been your imagination, but it felt like the hilt adjusted itself ever so slightly to fit your palm a little bit better. And when you hold the blade up edge on, you realize you cannot see this thing. It's only when you rotate it slightly do you start to see its edge.
Oui, you know, I start to like this place. I think I am going to go and kill something. And I walk out of the room.
All right. Thorn making saving throws like a boss. They're all just being defeated there. May you step out into the courtyard. You see Thorn lying unconscious. You see Ixtec lying unconscious. Jormund is still holding this body. Yeah, Ixtec's eyes are flattering open. That's right. You are awake.
Yeah.
You are awake.
Ixtec looks very disgusted with this whole clothing situation.
That's it. I'm coming to you, Nazia.
Desire
I'll get it right
puts
one
the
day.
monk weapon away
Yes.
and bends down to pick up the hag's head.
All right.
And she's half expecting her to talk to her.
It looks like a very dead head. Bits of fluid, spinal fluid, and blood sort of dribbles out the bottom of the head. It doesn't wink or breathe or move. It's still slightly warm to the touch.
And she winds one hand in the hair and runs towards the door. We should leave now. And
Okay.
take the machine.
Gary rolls.
I'm going to run
going
you
on here.
towards the door. I don't mind the distance anymore. Jormund.
Yormund is, before he does anything, going to use Lay on Hands to restore 30 hit points to myself.
Whilst holding Mickey.
Well,
It's lay on knees.
Yeah.
It's lay on knees. You touch your knees
Aren't you
together.
lay on knees.
Yeah.
Lay
Aren't
on
you
knees.
always touching
Yeah.
yourself?
like a very inelegant hokey pokey.
Yeah.
Let's
Something
goo.
of something touches someone and you are restored. How many?
30.
30.
Lost
Okay.
Myri.
I will look this Redcap straight in the eye,
Oh, I'm going to gut you.
and I'll say, "Now see here, little one. You have impressed me thoroughly with your forceful exit of that barricaded room up there. Tell me, are all your kin as mighty as you?"
Let him have a wisdom insight check. Boom.
Oh no! He knows all
Oh no!
my
This
God.
guy.
Your silver tongue won't work on me, you blue-scaled lizard. I'm going to have a pair of shoes out of you before the day is done. But I'm pretty
on the
impressive
ground?
for my race.
Oh. He says, "Very well. Let us see which lasts longer. The strength of your arm or my infinite patience?"
Ooh. Ooh.
And I'll keep holding it up. And this time he'll sort of flex a bit. You'll see the bulging muscles in both arms. And he almost presents his abdomen, like welcoming this Redcap to take a shot. Take his best shots.
I'll come back to you, Ixtec.
Nope, he died apparently.
Oh.
Instant death.
Oh,
Oh no! You dead!
oh, he did.
I don't know what's going on there, but you're alive.
Yeah, I'm alive. He's about to not be. Ixtec just stands up and just sees that red cap and just sort of. And. Meow. No, that's a miss.
Oh,
Sails off. You realise why you missed is because your hand was stuck with ichor that you were trying
Oh, no.
to... Yeah.
Second one.
Yes. Hits. Do your damage.
And. Ugh.
Glances across his shoulder as he's busy watching Yormund flex in front of him. That was your 2 blasts. You doing anything else, Ixtec?
I think they're gonna just sort of step out of the goop and just sort of.
All right, you crawl out.
Really
of this.
like this jacket.
Oh yeah. The jacket is definitely infiltrated.
Oh, infiltrated? Oh, that's not a good word choice, guy.
yeah.
I am officially changing my stance on this guy. I don't think he's cute anymore. Nope, I'm done.
Oh my word. Okay.
Damn, straight 20s with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run that again.
Impressive.
This
Medium.
guy's just.
Yeah, he meditates.
It says,
knows.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, he looks at the blast across his shoulder. He looks at you. You're so freaking hot right now. And he bows towards you. You're my new lord. I apologize for attacking you, great one.
Made a new friend.
He stands and says, "Good. Do you know how to drive one of these infernal machines?"
Do I know those things? Of course I do, sir. Give me an insight check.
Hi, honey.
Oh, I actually have insight, but it's not great. I just have it.
Ooh.
Okay, there we go. 19.
He may be lying. It's difficult to tell underneath all of the moustache.
What?
80% lying. No, 80%
Mustache.
mustache. 20% lying.
Yes.
Very well. Then you work for us. Take us where we need to go, and your journey shall be filled with riches beyond your imagining.
I can, sir. I can, sir. But what might I call you?
You may call me Lord Gale.
All right, Lord Gale. You realise, sir, that the rest of the crew are going to be insulting you, calling you Lord Breezy.
We'll ensure that doesn't happen.
Aye.
For now, move, my friend.
He sort of kicks very subtly
Oh.
Thorn with his big boot. I ken he's dead.
I didn't ask you for a medical assessment.
Oh, I understand. He bends down. He sort of just hulks Thorn over his shoulder, which effectively gets Thorn to go from being vertical with his face up to the sky to being over his shoulder with his face in the ground now. Because he's not tall enough to have a Thorn bent over him completely. Oh, I got it, don't worry, he says as he sort of tries to manhandle Thorn over his...
Aren't these Redcaps like 2 foot tall?
They are, yeah. So that's why he's having difficulty. It's like a slinky that he's trying to wrap around himself, but it's just going in all different directions except of where it should be. I got this, sir. I got this. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Oh, could I cut up a little bit?
Ask me later.
Okay. Not going anywhere for now. Mademoiselle Rouge, you see Thorn being flopped around like this rag doll with this red cap underneath him, trying to drag him out the way of this behemoth that's about to drop.
Have you done to my ride? May is gonna run over there as far as I can.
Sure, we're out of initiative.
Okay, so I'm gonna run and drag. I'm gonna help the red cap drag Thorn
All right.
out from Nikki's impending shadow.
Yeah, you got him. You got him. You got him. All
Yeah,
right, so you
okay.
drag him out with the...
I wanna rush over
Yeah.
and I gonna touch Thorn's bark, I guess, and I just sort of whisper a few horrifyingly sounding words, a sort of slight nosebleed, and I cast Spare the Dying.
You are no
Which-
longer dying.
Stabilized.
And to cheat the system,
Ixtec,
I'm just
you're
going to...
alive. That's so unusual. Oh, nice.
Ha ha ha
Yeoman's gonna shake this thing off and just drop it to one side.
There's a sloppy sound.
Oh,
He'll sort of relocate one of his shoulders.
I see you got Maggie.
Oui, Nazaya, she said that she just took off her own head. I don't know, but we have an head. I say we get out of here.
She cut off her own head?
That's what Nazaya said. I don't know what it means. I don't know why you would do that. But
How
maybe
do you even, like,
No, it's
logistically,
difficult.
how do you...
Nazaya, you exit the building.
Yes. Muzaya comes walking out of the building, holding the hag's head still dripping fluids.
Excellent
I can
work.
do it.
So, why is this one still alive?
I'm a driver, he says.
Is it for me? Did you get me a present, John?
Well, I can certainly drive you any time. I'm
I'll
game.
tell you what.
The
Yes.
hand starts to glow with the sort of red fire.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
You, tiny, bearded, red-hatted man.
Aye.
What is your name?
Fluff scale.
Fluffsgale.
Aye, it's in honour of you, sir.
As a member of my entourage, I am placing you under the charge of
Really?
Ixtec. Ixtec, this is our driver/mechanic. I trust that you will treat it with the care and attention that it reflects upon the vehicle to which we ride.
And its passengers.
Anyone
of
can
course
make
the
insight checks, if you please.
Yeah.
Apart from me, I guess.
Yes, okay, all right, fine. I wanted to be inclusive here, Thorn, but yeah. So, Nazaya and Ixtec, the two of you, when you were looking at the red cap fluff scale and then looking at Jormund as he's proclaiming all of Fluff Scale's duties, there is the flicker across this old red cap's face of, well, haven't got a clue on how to do that, but I'm sure I can busk it. As the mention of mechanic and driver is mentioned, but looking after you lot, that part he's okay with.
Jormund. He's going to be more trouble than he's worth.
Well,
No,
we'll find-
I'm worth quite a bit actually.
Well,
the point
then.
in which this fluff scale is no longer valuable, as mentioned, Ixtec as the supervisor, I suppose, of this individual, it'll be up to you to ensure that he remains either useful or turns into a valuable resource one way or another.
Oh yes. I have 5 different uses off the top of my head that I could have for a dead one of these.
I can go and pick up 5 dead ones right now, as a matter of fact.
Actually, I believe we have a promise to keep. Can anyone get Thorn back up on his feet? It's worrying me a little bit.
So I have a question. Do I roll medicine or nature with Thorn? How much?
I like it.
Whatever you-
I like it.
Whatever you roll, I'm going to give you guidance, so you have an extra D4.
Thank you.
Gesundheit. Yes, so there we go.
Hail Sneezer.
That.
Oh wow.
Mademoiselle Rouge, in your opinion, as a gardener, this little plant might make it. If you just water it and tend it a little bit and perhaps put a little net over it in winter, it might just recover.
D'accord. Okay. This is my plant now.
You say holding Thorn's head. Yes, Thorn, you are stabilized, obviously.
Sure. I'd like
Which
to
you
say
haven't
that
anyway.
Thorn at this point is not a full body. It's probably parts just flaking off.
Oh no.
The core and the head are remaining sort of a bunch of twigs and things that have somewhat staying together, but extremities have come off at this point.
Yes, I know this is what happened to all of my previous plants, but this time I promise I will not be lazy. I will water him, I will feed him, I will take out his little poo-poo. It will be fine, okay? I promise. I will not sleep on the job.
You did take out the poo-poo off your plants.
But there was something in there. I don't know what it was. It was all like the little legs, and I took it away.
What?
Maybe
Okay.
someone else should care for Thorn.
No, he's my plant.
Nazaya, the two of you, please see what you can find in the area. Load anything valuable onto the infernal machine. Ixtec, if you would take our new friend to go and get the machine ready to be launched, I will ensure that Thorn's deal with the cactus is taken care of.
D'accord.
Fine.
Okay, let's go see if we can find something nice.
Fine.
Yorman's going to go around and gather up the bodies of the dead redcaps.
Sure, and then throw them to the feet of the giant cactus that lets...
Indeed.
All right, so that's what you're doing. Let's go around the table. So no one is healing Thorn, just to be clear.
Oh.
If I had any means to.
All right.
I'm a monk.
All right.
Thorn has
I'll be
means
back
to.
unconscious.
Sure. I'm just checking. Thorn, give me a percentile roll whilst you're doing that. Ixtec, what are you doing whilst Jormund is going around collecting bodies?
I'm gonna head over to the terrifying looking vehicle thing along with our newest friend and asset to sort of, I don't know, have a look at it, maybe climb inside, see what I can figure out.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would you like to know my first name? Are we that kind of crew?
fine if you want to give me your first name.
It's Banjo.
Banjo.
Aye? Banjo Fluffscale?
Banjo Fluffscale.
Aye. It's what happens when NPC names get made for you by the viewers.
Oh, I see. Yes. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go look at this vehicle over here.
Aye, as you can see, it's a Grand Type 9 TX3 model.
You don't have to keep doing that. I'm
What's-
fully aware that you have no idea what you're doing.
I don't.
And I'm
at
going
all.
to keep you aligned as long as you are of some marginal assistance to us. So just
I can cook.
help me. Yes, fine. Help me figure this thing out.
Can't be that
And
hard.
I'm sure
The
we'll be
bird-
fine.
Oh, the wee birdie's died. Oh, well. What's happens? They
Yes,
were the
sure.
driver and mechanic of this monster.
Well done, me.
May,
Yes, well, things die.
what are you doing while Ixtec is off discovering this?
I'm
him.
going to go
Marvelous adventure.
investigating. I'm going to go investigate for snacks. I'm going to investigate for shinies. And I'm going to investigate for stabbies.
Okay. So which building are you going to go and investigate for? Because there are still the towers around the exterior of the camp that you have not checked out. The main chapel you think you've pretty much looked at. There was a door at the back that you didn't go through. And then there's the entire structure to the south that you haven't looked at yet.
Okay, I'm going to poke my head into that structure in the south. Just see what's in there.
Oh,
Why now is it doing that? It's
What do
so
you do?
weird.
What-
Nothing. I just switched the map. I've switched the map.
it was his percentile. All right.
All right, so you're
Go.
going off down that way to look for food.
Neat.
Not a problem. Thorn, you got an 18% on your roll, so nothing surprising happens there. You remain unconscious, I'm afraid. Perhaps you dreaming of goats?
Yeah, I would say Thorn is dreaming of not
Electric sheep?
being sticks, and little baby goats just dancing around his head.
Aww.
Are they fainting baby goats?
Yeah, sure.
They sort of bounce 3 times, get a fright, and then just fall over.
Aww.
Weirdest survival mechanic ever. Nazaya,
All right.
May
This
has...
one still has this hag's head.
Yes.
So she goes up to Jolman. Where?
Place it in the vehicle for the time being. Actually, no. Keep it on your person. I don't want that thing unguarded.
What?
I trust that if, as you described, this hag chopped off her own head, then it's likely not the last we'll see of her.
Yes, and I actually don't want to carry this around.
Well, I did want
Yeah.
to entrust it to the strongest person I knew.
Roll it in this. Ixtec sort of taking off the horribly ruined jacket and just sort of throws it across the yard. Just roll it up in that. It'll be fine. Blood doesn't seep through that thing.
Fine.
Ouch.
You have no.
I had it made special.
Yes, that cat specially made to be blood-proof.
Yes. I thought that you two, of all people, would understand.
I usually don't get blood on me when I work.
Yeah, well, I guess we're, different departments. Right.
Casually says one execution into the other as they wrap up
Not an
the...
executioner, thank you. I'm a Christ killer.
My apologies. Yes.
I'm a saint.
So casual.
Yes.
You drop the bodies at the base of these cacti, and you don't speak plant, but the spines on the cacti all shiver slightly as the bodies sort of lie impaled upon it.
I look at it, and Yorman kind of stammers a bit. Good murder plant. And I'll go back, and I will. What will I do? I'm going to go and help Ixtec and Banjo prep the machine.
All right. Mademoiselle de Rouge, I'm going to come to you very quickly as everyone else is getting into that war machine. The chambers that you discover down here are barracks of some kind that clearly were used by these creatures, the Redcaps, as a base of operations. On the table in the center is a large leg of some creature or other that's been roasted quite well, as well as a giant dish of sauerkraut and some fresh bread.
This is German hell.
This is German hell, yeah.
That's why it's so disorganized. Because if it's, health.
Yeah, it would be the exact opposite. Yeah.
It's still bread and sauerkraut.
Yeah.
There's bread,
Yes.
sauerkraut, and a leg of something
That's
has
an
been
older
roasted.
house.
Yeah, and a bottle of looks to be wine on the table itself.
Yes, that is mine. Okay, I pick up the wine.
Sure. The bottle.
I take a
is-
swig.
You take a swig. You did
Yeah.
not make the deal with the devil. Oh, you did make the deal with the devil.
Oh, I
didn't you?
did. She did.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, this
I did.
immediately takes you back to a quaint little tavern, one that you used to frequent. With this wine, it was cheap, but it had the aroma of roses on its aftertaste. It is quite delectable.
C'est très bien. Hein? Très bien. So I take the wine, sort of rolling it around the bottle like this, take another swig, and I sort of walk around and investigate the room, open some drawers, look at people's underwear.
Yeah, it's a bit chaotic. There is a chest that when you open it up, it contains. It looks to be a collection of bits of gold, and the gold has been hammered into various shapes and things. But yeah, probably about 2,500 gold in chunks and melted half coins and bits and pieces like that. Otherwise, boots, bits of scrap leather, and yes, unfortunately, definitely Redcap underwear.
Oui. Not very stylish either.
No, because their underwear is actually also outerwear. So
Oui. Ah,
Oh no.
it looks very used.
yes.
TMR.
It functions as light armor at this point. It's just sort of.
But it's brittle. Very brittle.
Shield.
Yes.
Yes, there's-
Yes.
it is what it is. That's what you find there.
Back up.
Yeah, if you spend another 10 minutes, you step into the gate room that
Yeah.
leads to the
I've
outside.
got wine. I'm fine. I'll keep exploring.
All right. So the gate room itself is particularly large. There's a large winch which allows you to open and close those gates. And then there's a desk that's been used to repair bits of leather and the like. The rest of you, I believe, have now congregated at this machine. Is that correct?
Yes, the conscious
think
rest
so.
of us.
They're conscious ones of you, correct. So I will bring up a map of this main machine now as you guys arrive. Let me go here
Oh my
first.
God.
I'll share it with you in
So
a
excited.
moment.
Please.
So excited.
As you step into the first door, I should say. Actually, this is a very large map, so I'm going to start it there. I'm going to share it with you guys now. And I will bring you folk onto the map board. Messiah is there. Thorn is there.
All right.
Jordan
Oh,
is
yes.
there,
That's a
and
skull. Okay.
Ixtec is there.
Six.
And
Kindling.
I'm going to change his name right now because otherwise I will forget to do it.
Ooh, I like the skull motifs.
I know the
Yes.
audience can't see this, but I am so happy right now just looking at this map.
It's great. It's great.
And the audience can
I've-
now see it. So
Yay!
there we go.
Well, that's done. So
Starting
this
at the
one.
front, there's this large ram skull-like motif. It's the exterior of the structure of this thing is darkened out so you can see the interior. There's a large skull at the front, all made out of bits of reclaimed metal, scrap and the like. As you step inside of it, I'm just going to move you guys inside. As you step inside of it, this large door allows you in, and there is this massive amount of cage work, which looks as if it's where you would store slaves or bodies of some kind. And then this metal staircase leading upwards to a second floor. towards the front are some grotty beds and things that were laying down, and there's a large door. Banjo sort of looks around and is like, well, this is your standard really thing. And that's a cage. Ha! Yes, I've got cages in here. That's bloody marvellous.
Yes.
All right, so, yeah, this is a cagey thing, and that's a beddy thing, and over there is another doory thing. Should I open the door, Lord Breeze... Gale?
Yes.
He
Yes.
sort of cautiously opens it, sees that there's nothing there. Oh, it's a scully thing and a motory thingy thing.
Can I roll if I can sort of start figuring out what this is and how things work?
Yes, you can give me an
Investigate.
Arcana check. Everybody
Oh,
who's in here
Arcana.
actually can give me an Arcana check, except for you, Thorn.
Oh,
Boom! Will it roll?
boom!
I won't bother.
Ixtec's back, baby!
20s
Maybe.
all around. 20s for everyone.
Oh.
Everyone gets a 20. Yes. So Ixtec, looking at the skull-like structure that's in the middle of this room with these large cogs and things. The skull, its mouth is open. The way that it's been carved, the mouth is open. Or is it carved? You're not sure. The mouth is open, and it looks as if the interior of that mouth, it doesn't look like it has a bottom. It looks as if it's just this pitch black space of nothing.
I'm guessing that's where the soul coins go. The fuel.
Quite possibly.
Is that all I get with a roll of 26?
Yeah,
It's just as a whole.
that's probably where you insert the soul coins. You would be advised not to insert yourself into there.
Yes. No, thank you.
He opens up the door next to you. Ooh, what's in here? Oh, no, it's just a boiler room. You don't need to worry about that.
Why don't I need to worry about that?
Well, it's just a boiler. Just for making tea. Probably. Lots of tea.
I look inside the tea room.
Yes.
See if I agree with this assessment.
It's not. It's definitely not for tea making. Unless you wanted to make 45,000 litres of tea every minute. These two massive boilers seem to be connected somehow to the gearing system in the room that you have just come through. That's to the north up here. And as those are boiled, they generate vast amounts of steam, which you surmise is what's going to get this entire vehicle to move. There is a challenge, though, that there is no means or method by which you might get these to burn without necessarily using that skull-like contraption. At the back, you can see there's a collection of stones, very black stone that's been collected in bags. That one you're not entirely sure about as to what its purpose is. Jormund, Nazaya, what are you guys doing whilst this exploration is happening?
Isaiah puts the hag's head in one of the cages, just to be sure. So it's
It's
now
a
wrapped.
well-built, robust cage.
Now, Jormund, the
Yes.
tiny creature.
I heard my name!
Your name is Tiny Creature.
I respond to it. It's what you grew up with when you were only 2 foot tall.
Yes, and is your name also Elia?
No, that's my sister. I'm Banjo.
I mean, he obviously doesn't know a thing about this.
No, you're right. I don't
Oh.
have a sister.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, to this I'm very aware, but he did prove himself useful at getting Thorn away from potential death, so to that at least I owe him the opportunity to prove his worth.
I've got great worth.
Good, and I hope you continue to try and prove it.
Yes.
In the meantime,
Otherwise-
however, Nazaya, I think putting that head in the cage is certainly a wise idea. I would say that I would like to find some soil or some dirt that we may lay on one of the beds for Master Thorn, but I don't think anything here is going to do him any good.
No,
No.
don't dig up any salt to put him in there. He's going to really die.
Well, look, I never claimed to be good with plants. I'm going to inspect the second story of
Wow.
this machine.
Master of my order, he kept tiny trees and they were very healthy. But I think I shouldn't. We shouldn't probably not bonsai him. I think.
Don't bonsai Thorn. It's not
Can't you heal him? Does
me.
that not work? No, Dormund.
Yes.
Yeoman sort of move. Well, just before he goes up, Yeoman will sort of go up and just sort of smack, not hard, but like just sort of tap Thorn's head. As magical energies try to natural 20, yes.
I don't know why it's doing it. I have no idea why it's doing it. Sorry.
As Yeoman sort of touches it, the magic tries to coalesce, but seems to sort of fizzle and pop out of existence. It seems as though taking on Mickey, as I believe he called himself, has drained me of the valuable abilities to heal poor Thorn. Given a little bit of time and some rest in this secured vehicle, I should have the ability to bring him back.
This is not a secure vehicle. There's a demon army.
Well, again, we intend to secure the vehicle at the first. But we can have, I mean, look, I've got no good answer for this. We are fighting off a demon army. This is a infernal engine. This is beyond the scope of what my normal expertise is. We must play the punches as they come, Naziah, and for now, getting this vehicle in a secure place where we can maneuver it is our primary concern.
And how do you think we're going to do that?
Well,
I'm
I head up the
figuring it out. Just,
Yes.
I'm going to need more than 30 seconds, people.
You head upstairs, Jormund, to find this compartmentalized space. As you're moving around, you get to what distinctly looks like a steering wheel, which has a very large, mucky-covered glass screen at the very front, which allows you to see out. Hanging from around this steering wheel, it looks like a ship's wheel, as a matter of fact, and there's a name inscribed on the actual center brass plate of that wheel. Bit grime crusted now, but as you look closer, you distinctly can read the word "prime water" on the wheel.
No.
What that means, you haven't got a clue. You don't know. But
Primwaiter? What the hell is a primwaiter?
that's what you're seeing. Are you trying to turn the wheel?
Yeah, I'll try and
All right.
give it a bit of a jiggle.
As you turn it, there's this grating sound. There are several levers next to you with release brakes at the top. Each one looks as if it can go forward or backwards. They're currently all sitting in a nice, neat, straight line.
I'll do an isolated test. So I'll move one lever forward and then back into position, and then the second, and so forth. How many levers are there?
There are 4.
Yeah, so I'll start with the first one, far left-hand side, because I feel lucky on that one.
The far left-hand one. All right, so you crunch the far left-hand one forward. May, you are still wandering around Fort Knucklebone. You finished up with this chamber down here in the south. Are you going to do anything else?
I will. How comfortable do these chairs look?
They're wooden chairs that have been cobbled together by 2-foot-tall people, so they're stools, really.
No, I don't want to sit in those.
There are beds, but
Yes, but they smell like they are
yes.
third hand, fourth hand, maybe. I
If
don't
they're
know.
lucky,
The people
yeah.
with the brickled underpants went in those. No, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I am going to take a good chunk of this bread,
Uh-huh.
and I have my wine,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a little bit of this leg of je ne sais quoi.
Yes.
And I'm going to continue my wander and have my picnic.
All right.
So this time I will. A moment, where am I? That is the temple, no?
Yes.
That I'm looking at right now.
The
Cool,
center
okay.
one, yeah.
The center temple. I will. Where else is there to explore?
They're the towers around this fort itself, although you don't
So I will
know
go
that
into the
much
nearest
route.
tower. I assume they'll call me when it's time. So I am just exploring with my picnic.
All right. Tower to the left or to the right?
Which one is closer?
The left one.
Then that is where I go.
All right.
Is
As
it-
you're walking across that great open expanse, which was not closed yet by the Redcaps, where the gate is, it has not yet been closed. As you're walking across, you casually look over, and there's about a 500-foot wide, 100-foot high, gigantic spider-like thing made out of various human organs, and a large host of demon kind, all very slowly walking towards the gates. They're probably around about 300 feet away. When
Oh
one of them-
no!
Nazaya said something about those. Oh
one
no.
of them seems to see you because it raises a body part at you, and
That's
then you
see me.
hear this.
Oh no.
Oh,
trumpet
no.
sound.
Very happy to see me.
One of them has seen you, yes.
Merde.
Do we hear that war horn?
May is gonna turn around and run towards the war machine.
All right, May starts running
Boston
towards the war
wide.
machine.
All right.
Back to you lot
Banjo.
in the actual war machine itself. Ixtec,
Banjo.
you reckon that this maw, the skull-like thing, it will possibly run off soul coins, which you've heard about, and you saw one in operation earlier. But it might also feed off of magic, because magic and souls are kind of built off of the same sort of energy in theory.
Yes. I use my magic detection eyes. I want to have a look at those weird stones that were in the boiler room.
Sure thing.
Are they magical?
Yeah, so you look at the stones in the boiler room, and they faintly glow with magic.
I go grab one and then
Sure.
I just shove it into the mouth of the skull.
All right, as you drop it into the mouth of the skull, it flares this wonderful
Whoa.
sort of purple light very briefly. And upstairs, Michael, you've pulled on that lever. That's the far left-hand lever. Which way did you pull? Towards you or away from you?
Where is it set? Is it set
Neutral,
in the
right
middle?
in the middle.
Okay. I will push it forward.
This is the trial and error part of the show.
Right. You push it forward. Nazaya and Ixtec, I need you guys to give me dexterity saving throws, please.
Oh.
Aha.
I think my ride is leaving me. Again.
Did anyone get under 10? No. The vehicle suddenly lurches. There's this terrific grinding sound and the screeching, screaming sound of metal on metal. And May, you watch as this monstrous tick-like thing suddenly, it looks like it almost bounces, it judders backwards, knocking a hole in the back of the garage structure.
Oh no, that's my ride. Come back, come back. Don't leave me here. They're really ugly.
Jorman, stop touching things.
I can't hear you. I'm on the floor above.
Yes,
I
he is,
pull
and
it.
he doesn't hear you.
I pull it the other way.
All right, you pull it the other way. There is a surge, and again, it's like
Hold on to something.
this whole thing is bouncing and rocking on its
Holding on to
axles back and forth. It feels like a carriage trying to go forward, but all of the brakes of the carriage are still engaged. So it's bouncing on those points. Thorn, roll a percentile for me, if you please.
Funny.
Sure.
81%. Dice are in your favour tonight. Absolutely. You are suddenly aware of a presence. It feels as if you're standing almost back in the forest. Your senses start to bring back data. Sunlight streaming down from above onto the leaves, providing energy. Water slaking your thirst from deep within very cool and moist sand and soil. Creatures running up and down the trunk, their little claws clipping into your bark.
Oh, well, I think I'm dead.
One of the trees you realize looks more like a cactus than any of the others. It looks at you. Welcome.
Yeah. Am I dead?
Do you grow?
I mean, not for a long time. I'm pretty big. Why?
That is how we measure death.
Oh. Okay.
Do you grow?
Sure.
You are different from us.
Yep. I'm still a plant, though, I think. I didn't realize I had a soul. Am I dead? Am I actually dead, or is this a dream?
Do you grow?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Then you
grow.
are not dead.
Oh. Oh, good. Okay. That's good to know.
But soon
Oh.
we will be.
Oh. You'll be dead.
All of us will be.
Oh.
You suddenly get this impression of this large malformed thing, a collection of bits of human and monster, busy grazing on trees in the distance. And as it rips them up, they turn into black ash.
Oh. That's not good.
You can help.
Oh.
You provided nourishment.
Wait, are you a big guy?
There's an awkward pause and a sort of a shuffling of the branches. Maybe.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Okay, so how can I help you?
Stop the ones that bring the darkness, that bring death. We cannot grow.
Just so we're clear here, what are we talking about? Are we talking devils or demons or what? I mean,
You see this image of landscape suddenly in front of you. Red, blasted landscape with spiky stones and chains and pretty much Avernus. And every now and again you see trees, cacti, blood trees, all of the horrific things that are out there. And you suddenly become aware that all of this is growing. It is all still alive, and it is still foliage. And it has been for a long time. After all, as someone of nature, you know that nature finds a way. And it has found a way here in Avernus. But then it takes you to places where you see this malformed organic flesh-like stuff, and it's just eating all of the foliage, and nothing grows on it, because it itself is almost a living thing, but it does not allow for others to grow.
Well, okay. I mean, I'll help you. You help me, I help you. I like plants, so, we're together on this.
Which lever do you pull now, Drummond?
I will go with the one on the left, but not the far left. So the one just next to the
Forward
one I
or
just pulled.
backwards?
Let's start with backwards this time.
There is a terrific roar, and the entire vehicle suddenly surges forward at tremendous pace. I need you to watch. May, you were rushing towards the vehicle. You watch as it explodes out of the front of this large structure directly towards you.
Oh no!
And the
Take it
side
back off me.
of the church.
Oh dear.
And then comes to an instant spluttering stop.
Merde.
Inside Ixtec, you watch as that light flares and disappears from the center of the skull. And we'll be back next week! As we've run out of time. I just looked at the time. I'm like, oh, we're out of time. I'm so sorry, everybody. We are out of time. So there we go.
One more hour.
One more hour. Yeah, sounds like a campaign that needs to start, right? So yes, there we go. Ended up where we are. Thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors, Dungeon Fog, creating all of these wonderful maps, and to World Anvil for aggregating everything for us and inspiring us to create better worlds, and Fantasy Grounds for all of those 20s tonight. All of those 20s, they just came thick and fast. Some of them were real, some of them weren't. That's a result of tech problems. But yes, absolutely thanks to all of our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful sponsors. And of course to Dungeon Fog for Dungeon Fog too. Well, they're a wonderful sponsor too, but I've already mentioned them. One? Leather, absolutely, for the leather, but for the jacket that I'm wearing, and of course to Dungeons and Dragons themselves for creating this amazing space for us to play, and to our amazing players, Michael for waking up so early in the morning in Australia to play with us every time, and for Jenny and Kiora for being awesome and for putting up with death throughout most of this episode, and to of course Janet and Myri for making a plan, joining us whilst at Spiel, and we absolutely really do appreciate it. And we do thank both of you for being here. To all of you for watching and supporting, and for being absolutely fabulous and awesome. Thank you so much.
Afterlife.
Yes, we're going to go into Afterlife now. Thank you for that. Afterlife is on twitch.tv/greatgm, which is about 20 minutes long. It takes place in about 5 or 6 minutes or so, where you hang out with these wonderful people and unpack what just happened in today's episode. Until next week, when we return to Avernus and this weird and wonderful vehicle driving system, goodbye from all of us.